Guys, welcome to Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. So the FBI has released photos of explosives of the explosives and the gun that was in Crook's possession. Now, the problem with this leaves a lot of gaps into previous statements by the FBI. Now, it leaves more questions than answers. By now, it's evident that Crooks wasn't a lone gunman. It wasn't a Secret Service incompetence. This was 100% an inside job. If you recall from my previous videos, I told you and I showed you a video of Crooks walking across the field. He had just left his gray Hyundai Sonata as he exited his vehicle, walked across the field. And I didn't show him exiting the vehicle because I didn't want to have issues. But you could see the Sonata in the shot. You could see him across the field. And even the initial reports said that, if you recall. Then Crooks drove his Hyundai Sonata about an hour north, joining thousands of people from around the region who flocked to Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. He parked the car outside the rally with the improvised explosive device hidden in the trunk that was wired to a transmitter he carried in it, and the official said. Then the investigators believe he used the newly built ladder to scale a nearby building and open fire on the former president. Oh, so he used a nearby ladder. Well, now they're saying that he actually used this AC unit right here, that he used this HVAC to climb up on top of the building. So there was no ladder. And if you recall, in the initial reporting, they said that he went to Home Depot and purchased a retractable ladder, folding ladder, something like that. Then the story came that they found a van that was parked 10 miles away, a white van with explosives in it as well, and Arizona plates. Now, here's an eyewitness statement here, just to jog your memory.
Outside and saw them opening up his vehicle and everything. When the cop opened it, everybody else jumped back and was trying to stay out of the way. Here I am worried about it blowing up or whatever's going on. So,
I mean, to find out that this happens and the former president gets shot nearly right in the head, almost assassinated across the street from your house, and then to find out that the gunman's car was possibly parked right in front of your house. How many cops are we talking about that were out there surrounding this van? And was there a license plate on the back of that van?
There was probably 5 to 10 cars out there, and there was an Arizona plate on the van.
Okay. So this kid's obviously not from Arizona. Who was the tag registered to? Who was the vehicle registered to? Why have we not heard that? Why is the van all of a sudden vanished? You hadn't even heard about it anymore. Now, let's just kind of get all the facts straight thus far of what we've heard. And let me just show you this. So remember, the police K-9 unit led cops to Thomas Crooks' explosive-laden van, as video footage shows them searching and then towing would-be. So K-9 unit led cops there 10 miles away? Fishy. How did this young man afford multiple vehicles? He worked at a nursing home cafeteria, lived with his parents. But let's get a few things clear here. One guy drove 2 vehicles without aid to 2 separate locations 10 miles apart. One of those you don't hear about anymore. That was filled with explosives. You heard the gentleman say that police jumped back. Then he bought a ladder that he carried. People said they saw him carrying this ladder at Home Depot, that they had a record of him buying it at Home Depot, per the FBI, but didn't use a ladder. There's a ladder there at the building. However, he used the HVAC unit. He was also seen riding a bicycle. Magically, that bicycle has disappeared as well. Now, we have a tremendous amount of footage from people that were at the event. But yet, all these inconsistencies in the FBI story. He had no friends and was a loner, but he had 2 cell phones that were encrypted that the FBI had a tough time getting into. Not to mention he had multiple overseas encrypted accounts. He had no online presence. And the only thing they saw when he searched was porn and some other famous figures. The FBI also stated that he had no motive, right? FBI gunman spent months seeking a target, then settled on Trump. So a gunman just randomly decides to go after the former president of the United States, just randomly. He was searching for someone and said, oh, I'll choose Trump. He had no searches. He had searches again with porn and famous figures. But here the FBI released a photo, and I had to blur this out, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But this is the Hyundai Sonata. I just want you to see it's the Hyundai Sonata. If you want to see the actual IDs, you can go look at our IDs, remote controlled IDs. Go look at my Instagram account. I have the actual photo there. But you see this is the gray Hyundai Sonata. However, he never searched how to make these comprehensive devices. Now, the reason why I'm blurring it out is because you can't show this kind of stuff on YouTube, and normally other people probably can, but I have someone that actually watches, that's paid YouTube employee, that they're assigned to watch every single video I put out. For some reason, weird, because I've seen crazier stuff. And if you don't believe me, it's true, because this is actually what happened this week. I noticed that when I would go search for my own videos, I would not see videos up until last week. And the thing that triggered that was a guy commented and said, hey, this information is a week old. And I looked at it. I said, oh, this video's, he commented. So I go search, and that was the most recent video shown. I'm like, damn, they're really shadow banning me. Like, I can't even see the most recent videos. And I always have people commenting, hey, man, are you okay? Because I hadn't seen a video in a week because they're tremendously shadow banning me. Well, one instance I actually been fighting with until today. And this was about the video I did about the flag burning. And in the video, I showed a segment from CNN, and then it cut to some Palestinian protesters. They're burning the American flag. I've shown burning flags many times on YouTube, but this one's different. This one, because this went against a certain group of people that you can't ever talk about, that control everyone. This certain group caused me a tremendous amount of pain. And you can read between the lines on that. This certain group of people that controls left and right politicians, because I showed a clip of it, they lost their minds. They removed that part of the video. If you go now and watch it, it's gone from the video. So all of you that has suspected this certain group, and the fact, I mean, I've mentioned this before about donations and things, but even down to a little old guy like me, you can't have anything against these folks because it's a massive issue. Anyway, going on to this, someone says, Joey's absolutely right. He says, Joey, sorry, not hating, but no one cares anymore. It's true, Joey. No one cares about the Trump assassination attempt, which is crazy, because if it had been successful, you damn sure would be caring about it. But the fact is, most people have the brain of a goldfish and they forget about it. That's why we lose these battles here within the country. It's the reason why the schools are taking over, every institution is taken over, because conservatives they're on to the next thing. They're talking about Leah Thomas or whatever the news story, or whatever The View said today, right? Whatever you see, all your favorite creators, they're talking about what The View, what Joy Behar said, or what some CNN anchor. I don't care what the hell any of these people say. Anyway, so no search history, but he was able to replicate sophisticated remote IDs. Anyway, but again, I wanted you to notice that Hyundai Sonata. Now, here is a picture of the rifle, and you see the buttstock that had taken the first shot. Now, he wasn't using a magnified optic. This is a red dot, but he used a rangefinder for a cheap red dot, non-magnified red dot. Very odd. And also, just let's add some more things, is that his parents called the police because they had not heard from him in 3 hours, even though he was supposed to be at work that day. And I don't know if you've also seen that gunman of Trump assassination saw a rally as target of opportunity. So he didn't even care. It was just Trump was the guy, the pick that day. He just flipped a coin and said, this is what I'm doing. Although he took all these precautions, got a van from Arizona. The parents don't seem very upset, if you get what I mean. When we've seen instances like this before where people have done such crazy things, you will have seen the parents react a different way. These parents are acting in a very odd way. The other biggest tell that people keep missing, I keep mentioning this, Joe Biden, up until that point, was adamant he was staying in the race. He even did an interview with CBS, I believe it was, where he basically doubled down, I'm not going anywhere. 2 days after the attempt, I'm out because it was not successful. I'm out. The biggest tell. So going back to what I mentioned earlier, this isn't about Secret Service incompetence. That plays a part. Was it passive or was it active incompetence? We don't know anything still. Just all kinds of gaps, different stories coming from the FBI, who literally found a J6 guy that was wearing a gator mask, a hat, and they only saw this part of his ear, and they went and raided his house because of this part of his ear. But this guy, they can't find anything on. No known associates, nobody. They don't know who he was talking to with these encrypted accounts, through these phones. Just no one. He had 2 cell phones. Was he paying 2 cell phone bills? I find it hard to believe, man. I could barely afford a cell. At that age, I couldn't afford a cell phone. What am I talking about? I couldn't afford a cell phone at that age. Not to mention about all this equipment. Even at that age, in those circumstances, I would not even be able to go afford the damn ladder at Home Depot to go just throw away somewhere because I'm not going to use it. I'm going to climb up on HVAC units. Guys, do not let this. I keep making these videos because people are not pushing this. They're just going to let it go by the wayside. If this thing keeps getting pushed, it's going to uncover something very dark and sinister. And we can't just let it go. We just can't let it go. There's got to be questions. No, we need answers. We need answers. Right? Kimberly says, no evidence is the evidence. More proof is an inside job. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me. I wanted to share this real quick to put this on your radar. And go check out my Instagram so you can see the actual devices. And we're stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.